What the frick is going on YouTube? We finally got a trailer revealing some Mega Evolution Pokemon. Finally, no more hiding in the shadows. The content is coming soon. The first deck I want to talk about is my boy, Mega Blaziken. So first of all, you see these little Charmanders? These little Charmanders are Torchics. We don't have a picture of Torchic just yet, so bear with me. So Mega Blaziken has 210 HP, and for 2 fire energy, it does 120 damage plus inflicts burn. So technically, it does 140 damage. But you also have to discard a fire energy. This is why we're running my boy new card, Flame Charge. Flame Charge allows you to grab a fire energy from the discard pile and attach it back to Blaziken. Now, honestly, that might not work because if you're discarding a fire energy, you're already gonna get the fire energy back. But let's say, for example, that we were also running Entei, right? Entei, every turn at the end phase, it draws a card, and then for 2 energy, it does 60 damage, right? But if you have 4 energy, it does 120 damage. You can keep committing all your energy to this Entei, because once the Entei dies and you have Mega Blaziken ready, you can just attach 1 energy to Mega Blaziken for that turn and then just use the Flame Charge to attach to the Blaziken, and then you're just already ready. So you can fully commit to an Entei, maybe get it beefed up if it's possible. If for some reason it stays alive long, we're not sure. But we're also running double rare candy because it's not like, how do I explain this? You are allowed to go from Torchic all the way to Mega Blaziken. There is no rule. It's not like the TCG where you actually have to, in the TCG, you have to go to Blaziken first and then you have to Mega Evolve, if I'm not mistaken. But you, in this game, they changed the rules where you can just straight up just go into Mega Blaziken, or Mega Pokemon in general. But also, Mega Blaziken does 140 damage. We have established that, right? So if you wanted to one-shot a lot of Pokemon, we are running the 1 copy red so that can hit 160, which can one-shot most EX Pokemon, but not Megas though. And since Mega Blaziken, or all Mega Pokemon, they basically, when they die, they lose. You instantly lose the game, right? Because you get 3 points. So we're running double Lily to make sure that this Blaziken does not freaking die. We're also running a cape to make sure it doesn't die furthermore. And if you're going against Charizard, Crimson Zard, watch out, bro. That is the new king, the new Apex Zard. That guy, no, not Crimson Zard, my bad. Apex Zard. Apex Zard is gonna just destroy every Mega Evolution with red, because Apex Zard does 200 damage, and then obviously with red it'll do 220. But we have capes to prevent that one shot. We're running a Leaf just in case our Entei is not. We just need him out of there, or maybe we get Cyrus or Sabrina or whatever, just to get free retreat. And then we have May is the new card that allows you to, if I'm not mistaken, it allows you to draw 2 Pokemon up to, I think, no, that's not up to. It allows you to draw 2 Pokemon, and however many you draw, which basically means if you draw 2, you can put 2 Pokemon back. So it's just like a hand shuffler. It's like basically super, it's like a better Pokemon Communications. That's what I meant to say. It's a better Pokemon Communications. So if you're still missing pieces, maybe you draw into an Entei and you draw into this, and whatever, you have another basic Pokemon, you could just throw it away and just get the Mega Evolution. Next up, we have my boy, Mega Ampharos. So let's talk about this one. So for 2 lightning and 1 colorless, it does 100 damage, and it does 20 damage 3 times to the bench. So it does a total of 160 damage. So originally, I was thinking about running this with Raikou, but then I thought about the damn bird Oricorio matchup, right? So for Oricorio matchup, we are running the Magnezone engine instead, and the 1 Zeraora and the 1 Pichu. So Pichu obviously could ramp up our Mareep or Pokemon in general, or Magnemites. Zeraora can do 50 damage, and at the end phase, if it's there the first turn, you can attach energy onto it. Honestly, you could run probably 2 Zeraoras if you want, or 2 Pichus. It's just up to you. But I like this format, or this, better than another EX Pokemon, because since Ampharos is a Mega, if it dies, the game's over, right? So this gives us more survivability, if that makes sense. We have multiple win cons. Like, our win con is Magnezone or Mega Ampharos, and then Zeraoras can do something at least in the beginning of the game while we set up. Obviously, Magneton could charge itself up with electric energy, and then Magnezone can do 110 damage by discarding electric energy, so you just kind of marinate with the Magneton in the back. Double rare candy. Honestly, here's the flexible part. You can use rare candy for Magnezone if you have Magnemite going into Magnezone. if that the time calls for it. Maybe you don't draw into Magneton, but it's mainly there for Mega Ampharos, so be careful if you run out of these two, because you only run 2 copies. May, so I thought about this wisely, right? We are playing so many damn Pokemon that I think May actually really benefits. Is like some decks don't really benefit from May, but since we have so many, you just draw 2 random Pokemon, and maybe you need the Magneton, maybe you need the Mega Ampharos or whatever it is. That's why I think May is useful. But if you don't want to run May, you can definitely add another elemental switch. Obviously, elemental switch is there for Magneton to ramp up Mega Ampharos, or Zero Aura to ramp up anything. Honestly, it's just there for extra ramp. Next up, we got my boy Mega Gyarados. And before anyone says anything about Oricorio, all right, you want an Oricorio counter, just take out any trainer card, maybe even the cape, or maybe one Mantike. Just take it out and put a freaking Origin Form Palkia or something. Now that we got that out of the way. All right, so we already know what the card does. At the end phase, draw a card, and for 2 water energy, it does 20 damage per bench Pokemon on the field, including your opponent. So you can do up to 120. This one, you might be able to attack with it, but it's mainly we're trying to get Mega Gyarados out as soon as possible. So if you don't know what Mega Gyarados does, it does for 4 energy, the 3 water, 1 color. It does 140 damage, and it discards the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So if they're playing an evolution deck, you might be able to disrupt them, or you could just slow them down. Maybe you might get rid of their Professor Research or something like that. To help with that hefty 4 energy cost, we are running Mantike to ramp up either Suicune or Mega Gyarados. And we're running Misty because Misty auto win games most of the time. You could just put on a Suicune or whatever, just get a bunch of free water energy. But also we're running the new magic card for 3 energy. You can use this attack and it'll randomly grab a Mega Gyarados from your deck and evolve it instantly. But obviously it'll end your turn because it's an attack, but you will have the Mega Gyarados right there. Honestly, I thought about running one Gyarados EX because Gyarados EX and Mega Gyarados EX are literally the same thing in terms of power, damage, 140 damage. But if we ever have to use this Magic Card's ability, it would suck to have to get a Mega Gyarados. I'm sorry. It would suck to have to get a regular Gyarados EX instead of the Mega, so I just took it out for the Mega Gyarados just because of this Magic Card. And since Mega Gyarados can only do 140 damage total, if you wanted to one-shot other EX Pokemon, we are running the 1 red. Running 1 leaf just in case we don't need Suicune, because honestly Suicune is just there to draw us cards at that point. It's just there to draw us cards. So we might not even set up, we might just keep charging up a magic card, because once magic card hits 3 you can get a free Mega Gyarados. But we also got to keep the Mega Gyarados alive. That's why we're running double Irida to make sure it heals for 40, and then the cape obviously so it doesn't die to Charizard. Watch out, Charizard. I'm telling you, Charizard's coming for all your megas. Bro is the new Mega Slayer. And we run 1 Cyrus just in case we need Suicune to attack, and then maybe you want to Cyrus something. You can just change that out. Next up, we got my boy Mega Pinsir. So Mega Pinsir has 170 HP, and for 2 leaf or grass and 1 colorless, it does 80 damage. But if you flip a coin, you can do and get heads, obviously you can do 150 damage, which is major damage to a lot of Pokemon. So how we can get this out faster? We have the EV engine. I know, oh my god, the EV engine, right? But we have collect, which can search as any Pokemon randomly into our hand. We're running this extra EV just to have more evolution, but also you could do 30 damage if you really want to. Double Sylveon to get the draw going, and double Leafeon because we really want to see the Leafeon, because Leafeon gives us once per turn we can attach a grass energy to any grass Pokemon we have in play, and for 3 energy it does 70 damage. So to make sure that Mega Pinsir is able to hit those 150 damage coin flips, we have my boy Big Will to guarantee that. But if you don't have Big Will, you can just Gamba the head flip. Also, since we are playing grass, we do have access to Leaf Cape, which makes our Mega Pinsir beefy with 200 HP. But watch out for that charge. He's going to eat your ass. He's going to eat that Pinsir ass. Oh my god. We are playing Defend the Castle with this deck, essentially. That's why we're running the double Leaf Cape, like I said, and the double Erica to make sure that Pinsir does not die. And we're running 1 Cyrus just in case Pinsir does whiff and does only 80 damage. We can still Cyrus and kill something. Or if Leafeon gets early damage off, we can also just Cyrus him for the game. And for those Oricorio players that think like, oh my god, Oricorio is going to ruin your deck, just take out 1 Sylveon or maybe 1 Leaf Cape, or maybe even take out Cyrus, honestly, and just put a regular Leafeon or any... Honestly, you could just put Baby Leafeon, the one that does 90 damage. and we have Mega Altaria. So we are running the new Swablu to do Sing, to make the opponent's active Pokemon go to sleep so it can stall his time, obviously. But Mega Altaria is basically Arceus. So for 2 Psychic Energy, it does 40 damage, but for every bench Pokemon you have, it does plus 30. So that's basically 70, 130. Who else does 130 damage total? Arceus. Of course, since it is a Psychic type, we are running the EV engine specifically with Sylveon, because Sylveon can draw us 2 cards and it could be an attacker for 70 damage. Also, if you're worried about the Oricorio matchup, we have baby Sylveon that will do 40 damage plus 30 for every evolution you have in play. So technically, if you just have one other evolution in the bench, it'll do 70 damage and it can one-shot the bird. We also run Espeon as another tech. Honestly, it's up to you. But for this one, it does 20 damage for every energy your opponent possesses in their side of the field. So if they have 4, it could do 80 damage, which can one-shot Oricorio. If you really want to, you can run into Sylveon instead. You could even just take out the little evolutions and put, maybe you could even put an Espeon like EX if you really want to do the 80 damage and the 30 heals, whatever you want to do. Up to you. It could just be literally Altaria with the splash of Sylveon Espeon deck, like Sylveon EX, Espeon EX deck. That'd be kind of funny. You just take out Giratina. And since Mega Altaria can do 130 damage, we are running red to make sure it could do 150 damage so it could one-shot a lot of EX Pokemon. I love running Cape in a lot of these Mega Evolution decks because once they die, it's over. So you got to make sure they have as much HP as possible, and you got to make sure they're out of Charizard EX's range of that Crimson Storm that does 200 damage. So you gotta watch out for that guy. Cyrus, obviously, since most of your Pokemon in this deck do not one-shot anything, pretty much. So you have to make sure Cyrus can steal the game. Mars for hand disruption, it's kind of a staple in this meta. And May, since we're running a lot of draw engine and draw power, we have the flexibility to draw 2 Pokemon and put back 2 Pokemon depending on what we want to see. Maybe we want to see Sylveon draw, maybe we want to see Mega Altaria just finish off the game, who knows. And last but not least, we got my boy Mega Absol. And I was having fun with this deck because I was trying to figure out how we can make this work, right? So I went for the more hand disruption build because Mega Absol for 2 darkness energy does 80 damage. You look at your opponent's hand and you discard a supporter card, which is basically just silver as a Pokemon. We're also running my boys the EV engine. I know, I'm sorry, we have to run it. You know why? Because Oricorio, right? So in order for us to counter Oricorio, we have Umbreon, baby Umbreon, which for 1 darkness energy does 40 damage and makes it where your opponent's Pokemon that are not evolutions cannot attack. So Oricorio cannot attack, Darkrai can attack, Giratina can attack, all that fun stuff. And obviously it can actually attack and injure the Oricorio. So we are running 1 Umbreon for the backup just in case we don't see any of this, and it might come up if we because we have 3 evolutions of EV. And we're also running the 1 Sylveon because draw, who doesn't like drawing cards, right? But honestly, if you don't want to run Umbreon EX, you could take it out. You could probably just fit in something else. I thought about running this with Hydreigon, but it doesn't really have that much draw power, and then not seeing Hydreigon early might hurt. And if you spawn in with Mega Absol in the front row or the active spot and he just gets clapped, and you just lose the game, right? So we don't really want to see Mega Absol right away. You might want to even run one of these, I don't know, because we do have a lot of draw power. But to further enhance Mega Absol's disruption, we have red card and we have silver, because you could be really annoying. You could even red card, put him down to 3, silver, put him down to 2, Mega Absol attacks, put him down to 1. It's just stupid. We're also running Dark Pendant, which you can give to any of your dark Pokemon, and if they are inflicted by damage, if they just take an attack, you will be able to randomly shuffle 1 card from their hand back into the deck. We also have May because we have a lot of Pokemon, so we can obviously find this Pokemon, like an Umbreon or a Mega Absol, whatever you need. You obviously draw 2 Pokemon and then put back 2. We also have Cyrus. I know some people are like, why were you running Cyrus with Umbreon EX? But Mega Absol does not one-shot Pokemon, so Cyrus actually makes sense in this deck. Also for this little Umbreon too. And then to further enhance our filthy hand disruption plays, we are running the 1 Mars, just to be annoying, to be honest. I know I haven't been uploading videos lately, but I will be back when the Mega Evolutions drop. I'm telling you, it's about to come in 1 week. I will be spamming content Also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Please comment down below your deck ideas, because these are just ideas I came up with while I was at work. Yeah, I did this during my break, my little 15-minute break. But if you have any better ideas, please drop them down below. Maybe I'll make a video out of it, or maybe I'll just play day one.